Hello, I'm Dr. Michelle Rozen, and welcome to Leading Up. We are here to talk about how to stay calm no matter what. And I know that it sounds like a dream. Can you actually stay calm no matter what? We are here to move the needle today. This is Leading Up. So glad to have you here with me to talk about how to stay calm no matter what. There are so many problems that result from impulsive behavior. And here's what you need to know. In your brain, there are two parts that you need to be aware of. In the front, you have the prefrontal cortex, which is where you are super smart and you strategize and you're this amazing person, an amazing leader. Everything is working great. Unfortunately, in the back of the brain, you have the amygdala, which is the impulsivity center of the brain. Here's how it works. When you are hungry, angry, tired, you're at the end of the day, you've reached the end of your rope, the amygdala kicks in. We call that amygdala hijack. It's when you lose control and the impulsive part of your brain, the drunk driver of your life, takes over.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
So this is what amygdala hijack looks like on national TV. No judgment to anyone here, but when you are under amygdala hijack, you're going to do things you don't mean to do. You're going to say things you don't want to say. You are not in control. And your goal is to make sure that your life is led by the prefrontal cortex, which is the responsible driver of your life, not by the amygdala, the drunk driver of your life. So how are you going to do that in leadership in life? This is your tool. It's called the 20-minute rule. And the 20-minute rule basically means that it takes about 20 minutes for the amygdala to calm down and for the prefrontal cortex to take over if you are in a situation where you are extremely agitated or extremely irritated, hungry, angry. You know those times where you feel that you are just about to lose it? You know, your cheeks are getting red, your ears are getting red, your breath becomes shallow and you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I am just about to lose it.
Hi, I'd like some breakfast. We stopped serving breakfast. I just want a little breakfast. We stopped serving breakfast at 11:30.
Rick, have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here I am, the customer.
That's not our policy. You have to order something from the lunch menu.
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too.
We've all been on this planet long enough to know when it's coming. The question is not if it happens. Everybody gets to that point sometimes. The question is, what do you do then? And what you need to do is get up and do something else for 20 minutes. Because if you stay there and ruminate in the current situation, your likelihood of amygdala hijack is pretty high. But if you get up and you tell the other person, let's say you're on a phone call or you're engaged in a conversation with someone and you are just about to lose it, and it doesn't matter if it's their fault or your fault or no one's fault, it doesn't matter. You are just about to lose it. If you feel that you are at this point, you're going to tell the other person things like, let me wrap my head around it. And then you get up and you leave for 20 minutes, or let me get back to you on this, or let me think about it. There's nothing wrong with telling the other person, let me wrap my head around it, let me think about it. And then you're going to get up, and within the next 20 minutes, you are going to do something for you, something to relax you. You may take a walk, you may call someone you love, you may drink a cup of tea, anything healthy that will help you calm down. I promise you that when you get back to the situation 20 minutes later, you are going to manage it completely differently. You are going to make completely different decisions. You know why? Because they will be not out of your amygdala, they will be out of your prefrontal cortex. So today at Dear Dr. Michelle, I have some great questions to share with you. I'm going to share 3. Here's the first one. Dear Dr. Michelle, I sent someone in my team an email that apparently hurt their feelings. Ever since then, they resent me and I don't know what to do. Why are people so sensitive these days? Well, if you got to the point that you hurt someone's feelings, it doesn't matter if they're sensitive or not sensitive. The question is, when you sent that email, what was the goal of the email? Because if the goal of the email was to communicate something, maybe email is not the best way to communicate with that person, and maybe you should choose different language, different words. If the choice was to be mad at them, I guess that mission was accomplished, right? I mean, if the choice was to have a fight or a conflict happened. It sounds like you need to clear things with this person, and you may need to apologize if you hurt their feelings. Now, I know you may be thinking that you did nothing wrong, but that's not the point. The point is, how do you get yourself back to a point where you have a healthy working relationship with that person? And if they got hurt, the next thing you should do is apologize to that person for hurting their feelings and find out from them what it was that hurt them, and be prepared for anything they want to say, because your goal should be this. Your goal should be, how do I have a productive relationship with that person? And so if emails don't work, there may be another way to communicate with them. Here's another great question. Hi, Dr. Michelle. I wanted to consult with you on a problem that I have outside of work. It's more of a personal thing. My son is 7 and I need to help him with his math homework. But every time I sit down to do his math homework with him, after a full day of work, I end up yelling at him and it ends in crying. How do we create a better routine and a better relationship? When you're tired, after a full day of work, like you said, what are the odds that you can handle teaching a 7-year-old math? Probably not high. And the same thing goes in the corporate world. When you are not in a good headspace, how can you actually handle a challenging situation with another person? So you can make different choices here. You can get your son a tutor, or you can choose a different time of the week to handle the task of math homework. But whatever choice you're going to make, the choice that you're making right now of handling a heated situation with a frustrated person, in this case, a frustrated 7-year-old, is going to be too challenging for you after a full day of work, when you yourself are in need of self-care and rest. So the same thing goes for any other relationship that you have with any other person. In order to have a productive communication, you need to take care of yourself first. You need to make sure that you are in a good headspace and that you have the mental budget to handle that situation. If you can't handle it, make sure that you find another way to handle the situation, definitely at a time where you are in a better place with yourself. We have another great question here. Dear Dr. Michelle, we have someone at work who literally has the worst temper ever, always snapping at me and speaking to me in a very passive-aggressive way. It is really starting to affect my own mood, and it's giving me anxiety. What is a good strategy for handling this situation? So, whatever the reason is for that person to act in the way they're acting, they may have burnout, they may have mental health issues, whatever the reason is, there is no reason for you to suffer. There is no excuse for bad behavior. That means that you need to set some very firm boundaries here. There's no reason for your mental wellness to be compromised because someone else is treating you poorly. So the next time that person treats you poorly, you need to communicate to them what your boundary is, and then make sure to communicate it again and to be very firm. And if they cross that boundary, you're going to have to think if you need to turn to HR or take any other steps to make sure that you are working in a healthy work environment. The fact that someone else is hurting is painful to them, and you can be as compassionate as possible to them. But always remember that there is no reason for you to work in a toxic environment, and that the only reason why this is happening is that you are not clear enough on what your boundaries are. So get clear with your boundaries, what they are for yourself first, and then make sure to be firm and fair and communicate what your boundaries are. Today, we talked about how to keep your calm no matter what, reminding you that you can always use that 20-minute rule to make sure that you don't have outbursts and impulsive reactions to other people. Yes, the world would be a much easier place if it wasn't for other people. But getting along with other people, keeping your calm, and operating out of the prefrontal cortex part of your brain, the responsible driver of your brain, is the key to your success, to your happiness, and to your future. You can do this because together we lead up. And click the notification bell to keep up with all the new videos. Also, click on the link to watch another video.